be able to see them.
You can see my shoe.
Yeah, you can see it. Them things is talking to me.
Good evening, She Shackers. Oh my goodness, and thank you for tuning in to another night with me, A Queen, here in the She Shack. We have painted the She Shack pink. I know y'all was like, I know this girl ain't about to paint all the walls in the She Shack pink. When I said pink, I mean that we were going to be honoring those that have maybe in a battle, have survived the battle, or maybe even succumbed to their battle of breast cancer. So I have the absolute pleasure tonight to have a room full of nurses. A room full of nurses. Well, we got them all in a room at the same time, and y'all just check them out. Everybody looking absolutely beautiful tonight. We're rolling in pink, but also I don't know if you paid attention to the combination, because we running some blue in here too. And the reason why we running blue, because we don't want y'all, the ones that's been affected by domestic violence, to think that we forgot about you, because we absolutely have not. We're going to intertwine this conversation tonight and be posting information about domestic violence abuse, domestic ambassadors, where you can find them here in the state of Delaware. And there's a 1-800 hotline that you'll be able to find on Conversations with She Shack in the group. You can also find it on my Facebook page. You can find it on Instagram, on our WhatsApp, and on Twitter, and on LinkedIn. If you are not following us, it is Conversations with a Queen universally. You can follow us there and find that information. So I'm absolutely excited. I'm going to let these ladies introduce themselves. We got our wine already poured. Y'all know what's in the cup, so we don't have to talk about that. My mom always sitting in with me. She bring us some wisdom with 40 years of nursing experience sitting next to us. And then we also have, wow, we got the big wig sitting in here. Woo! We got, this was such a surprise. So let me tell y'all how it all went down. These young ladies and I have had the absolute pleasure of meeting maybe a couple months ago in our career, and it has been dynamic. I mean, absolutely sparks from the beginning. They are She Shackers, and guess what? They support us, and now they're here to bring some information and join us in the She Shack. So why don't we start with you? We got Miss Rashida right here. I know they acting shy in the She Shack. Y'all better tell them that's not how it go down in here. We are not shy in the She Shack. That's why I got the wine poured sweet bitch on deck, so she gonna help them get loose in the She Shack. Then we have Miss Kenda in the building. We got Miss Kenda in the building also, coming with nursing experience. So we're gonna jump right into it. We're gonna start off by talking about breast cancer awareness. I know that you have been seeing me post about breast cancer awareness, because we are planning something big. I mean, absolutely big. Not so like millionaire big, but from the heart big. And what it is honoring those that maybe that is in the battle with cancer, that's actually maybe have been a survivor, or maybe you've succumbed to a long battle, and we want to honor you. We want to honor you through your family, through your daughter, or through your children, or through your husband. So what we're planning on October the 30th, we having a Paint the Town pink party. Yeah. It's all shades of pink. We're going to do it. I'm really taking you up on this winery offer. I really kind of like that. I had something else in mind, but I really like the winery offer. I think that was kind of like grown and sexy. But guess what? It's all on the She Shack. You don't need $1. We are honoring everybody, every table, every piece of food that you eat, and everything that you drink is from us. We want to honor y'all. So guess what? Don't forget, I keep telling y'all, drop it in the chat. Anybody that you know, somebody you not want to nominate, or even if it's you yourself and you feel like, you know what? I just would like to be in the groove of some ladies. And guess what? It's safe. Social distancing, mask, hand sanitizer. So you don't have to worry about bringing COVID back or being exposed to COVID. Because if you have not been COVID tested and or vaccinated, I'm sorry, I can't bring you to the party.
No.
All right. Come baby to come to the party. Okay, so we'll start with you. I wanted you to give us some information about mammograms, because I remember a conversation that you and I had that I didn't actually have the opportunity of meeting my great grandmother, but she had breast cancer. So I know times has actually changed since that time when you have not really been able to get treatments. You got all different kinds of innovative things available now. But what would you say to someone maybe like in myself that's in their 40s and not really sure when do I start getting a mammogram? What would we do?
Actually, it's never too late. There is no specific age because I have ran into young ladies in their 20s that actually was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Wow.
So I would tell you that whenever you take a shower, examine yourself. If you find, like, she was taking a shower and she said she felt something that felt like a pee. Okay. And it kind of moved around and that kind of thing.
When you say examine yourself, exactly like give us a
you
little
take
bit more
your breast
information.
and you kind of gently rub
it around.
And don't forget to go underneath your arms, okay? And do both sides, all right? And then you can look at your breast and look for any discoloration. Any tenderness, okay? Any of those things, anything out of the unusual, all right? I would go and have myself checked immediately because breast cancer is a type of cancer that really doesn't give you a lot of symptoms. You may have a low-grade temp, you may say, okay, I got a low-grade temp, I got allergies or something like that. But the fact of the matter is, whenever you feel something unusual in your breast area, I would recommend that you go to your primary physician immediately. Okay.
Kenda, I would want to kind of send out to you because I know that but you have had some opportunity of working with those maybe in a more urbanized community, and sometimes they don't have primary care doctors or not really sure where to find these resources. What would you tell them to do if you found somebody that maybe was in a situation that say, hey, my breasts feel funny, or maybe they tender or whatever, and they're not really sure what to do? What kind of advice would you give to them?
I would tell them to make sure that they contact their GYN. Let them know what's going on so that they can get the referral so that they can go ahead and get screened for a mammogram. Mammograms are free.
Okay.
They're free. So, everyone, if you feel any type of way, you need to just go ahead and get it checked out.
And the other thing, guess what? You don't need an appointment to go get a mammogram. A lot of clinics nowadays, you can just walk right in and say, hey, I would like to get a mammogram today.
Don't forget they'll pay you to go get a mammogram.
What? Pay you?
Yeah, stipend now to go get yourself a mammogram. And remember, it's for men as well.
Right.
Absolutely. I'm glad you actually brought that up because sometimes our men get lost in the suit, the whole breast cancer awareness, breast cancer, and you always see women be the face of breast cancer. But you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because men could get breast cancer too.
Yes, they sure can. And the other thing is, mammograms is a preventive measure, all right? And the best way to beat breast cancer is when you get early detection, okay? So that's the reason why I say there's no particular age. If you know that it is, like a lot of time the mother may have had it, or like in our case, my grandmother had it. So if it runs in your family, you need to be more conscious. You need to be more aware and go and have your mammogram done at least yearly. Okay, like I've had mine, and the reason why I say every year is because when you go and have your mammogram, they would actually compare it to your last mammogram. Like in my case, when I went, they found like scar tissue. Okay, so when I went earlier in the year when they had my mammogram, then because at first they didn't have anything to compare it to, so I had to wait 6 months and I went back. And when I went back, there was no difference in the size and the shape and the contour of the scar tissue. Okay, so. At that particular time, my GYN doctor spoke to me about it because I have a history of cancer. I have to be a little bit more diligent,
Right.
So with that in mind, because at first it kind of scared me a little bit, I was a little worried, but God.
You know what? I don't mean to cut you off, but this wine is calling my name.
Let it call your name. So that's the reason why I said, as a woman of color, because that breast cancer really runs deep in women of color. I think a lot of that is because we don't really go and see about ourselves. All right.
And why do you think that is? Why do you think that we neglect to go see the doctor?
Well, a lot of times, as women, we are taking care of everybody else, and we kind of put ourselves on the back burner. And when we
actually, what we can do is pull this bar out, so that way you can make it a little bit more convenient
for yourself
to have somewhere to sit.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I can
You
hold
good?
it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
good.
so
I just want to make sure you
we kind of put ourselves on the back burner, and when we notice things, oh, I'm gonna go to the doctor next week, and when we finally go to the doctor, it's already progressed. Okay, into a, sometimes it be stage 3 or stage 4 or whatever the stage may be.
Well, I want to stop you right there because some people don't really know, like when you saying stage 2, stage 3, that all of us in here, we nurses, so we know what that means. So, kind of explain that to us a little bit. What stages is? What stages of cancer is?
Okay, so you have the stage 1, and that's where we can most identify to catch what kind of cancer it is. We can biopsy, just make sure it haven't grown anywhere. So it's the size. The size of the cancer is how you stage it. So then as we go into different stages, but there's also so many different types of breast cancer that people should be aware as well, and what part of the breast is actually in, it determines what type of cancer it is. So I'm sorry, what's your name?
Charlene.
As Charlene was saying, as we put things off from weeks, it becomes months, it becomes year, as which it was something that was so small that we could have took out at a stage 1, it's now progressed to a stage 3 or a stage 4. In most cases, stage 4 is at the point, depending on if it's stageable or non-stageable, or if we have to worry about it spreading to a different area, to the other breast. So those are the things that you have to look out and worry about when it comes to cancer.
Absolutely. And I want to just point out when she said it starts off small. If you're diligent in your efforts, don't take and say, oh my God, my life, oh, I got cancer, and think that it's over. I always want to remind you that nothing is impossible without God. That's number 1. But faith without works is dead. So if you don't do your part to be proactive, to take care of yourself, don't get so lost in taking care of the kids, the house, working extra shifts, being a flexible employee, or laser focused entrepreneur, small business owner, stay home mom, and you forget to take care of you. Remember, you are the investment. You are the most important thing, so you have to protect the brand, which is you, the investment, which is you. Your children need you. The job, they need you. But guess what? If you get sick and you're not able to work anymore, I guarantee you they're going to put somebody else on the schedule to fill in for that spot. So make sure you take care of you.
And you also want to let them know, just because you feel a lump, best thing to get it checked out, because sometimes it can be benign.
Yeah.
So it's not even cancerous, but if we let it sit, and sometimes it can grow into something different. So those are the things you're supposed to look out for as well.
Right. And I'm so happy that we are actually talking about breast cancer, because one of my coworkers, one of the nurses that I work with, she's actually going through cancer therapy as we speak. It started off as breast cancer, now she has lung cancer.
Wow.
So she had to go through chemo first for the breast cancer. Then she had to wait, and now she's going through radiation therapy for the lung cancer. But she is really amazing. And the reason why I say that, she bought me flowers. Okay. Now she's the one that's going through everything, but she bought me flowers Saturday, because she tells me that I give her the motivation, because I always speak positivity. This is my year of positivity.
Oh, don't we know it?
But anyway, I'm so. Sometimes God put people in your life and you don't know the reason why they put them in your life. And I think she crossed my pathway because she needs some encouragement. And the reason why I say that is because during the therapy or during the procedure or treatment of it, you go through different emotions. And like when I first met her, she was very depressed, that kind of thing. And I talked to her and I encouraged her, and I told her about my own personal situation to encourage her. I said, look, honey, you cannot look at it as doom. You understand?
Right. Absolutely
Because
not. Absolutely
in today's society, cancer treatment is so far advanced.
not.
You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
and so she went through the 2 weeks of chemo, and she was telling me that she couldn't swallow or eat, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So I told her, I said, well, start drinking supplements.
Before we get too far into the treatment of cancer, I actually wanted to ask Kanda a couple of questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I know sometimes people get a little fearful when you hear you brought up chemo and radiation and things like that, and they become fearful.
Yeah, it is.
They become fearful.
It is a
become
fearful
fearful
process.
of the side effects. They become fearful of the loss of their hair. They become fearful of maybe not being able to be the person that they were before they started out with the chemo and the radiation. So I was just gonna ask Kanda to just kind of like give us some information and what you know about radiation treatment, chemotherapy. Do you know anybody that's been affected by cancer, or like have you had anyone in your family that had to deal with something like that?
Actually, I've had several people that
Okay.
has to deal with that. Like probably about a year and a half ago, I lost my brother to cancer.
Wow.
He had a tumor that grew out of nowhere around his spinal cord, and he fought a really long fight from 2014 up until 2021.
Wow.
So he endured many surgeries, vertebrae removed, the whole shebang, and we called him Built Like Brandon.
Okay.
Built Like Brandon.
Okay.
And then I just had a cousin that just got finished chemotherapy for gastric cancer. Fingers crossed, she's actually had a clean bill of health. We got one more scan to go.
Yes. Yes.
And then today, crazy, I actually had a friend that had to have major surgery and had a mastectomy.
Wow.
So,
Can you tell us what a mastectomy is for
a
those that may
mastectomy
not
is
know?
when they remove your breast, and sometimes they remove some of the lymph nodes around there. Some people get a double mastectomy, and some people just choose to just do one side. I found out today, actually, that it's now a same-day procedure. I thought they at least watch you for 24 hours.
What?
Yeah.
It's the same day procedure.
Same-day procedure.
That's how.
Wow.
that's how
Wow. You remember back in the day, that was like
He was in there
a
for a
4 or
while.
5 days stay in the hospital, a nurse come home,
Yeah.
come with you, you got drain tubes, all kinds of stuff. Wow, same day
Yeah.
surgery.
It's the same
That's
day surgery.
amazing.
And then I've also lost my great-grandmother to breast cancer.
Wow.
I remember being 6 years old, watching her back,
Mm-hmm.
and noticing that she had both breasts removed, and she just told me, "Oh, it's okay, baby." And then I remember the day that she actually, because I think she beat it 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the day that she didn't come home from the hospital. My mom took me up there, and she was hooked up to all those tubes,
Mm-hmm.
and it never left my mind. So it's something that is very prominent in my family.
Mm-hmm.
So from the age of 35, I've been getting
Getting
a mammogram every year.
I also want to bring up, and I'm gonna post it up after the She Shack is over, some resources also about prosthetic breasts, because we've come so far in in technology and medicine. There are actually prosthetic breasts that you can wear that makes you still feel like a woman, because some people said that the removal of their breasts brought about self identity issues, and it kind of make you feel less of a woman because you're not really identifying. You don't have that that accessory anymore.
Well, that is true. It makes you a lot. I mean, I haven't experienced it personally, but I do know people who have had their breasts removed, and they're very self-conscious.
Self-conscious.
They're very self-conscious, of it. So, I mean, they go through. I mean, you got to think about it. When you have your breasts removed, that's part of your feminine part of you. Okay,
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely
and
true.
so you go through a lot of emotional And so that's the reason why when something like that happens. Now, some people choose to have both breasts removed because of the fact that breast cancer run in their family.
I think, and you know what? I ain't gonna even hold you. I think that is like a boss move. Like my boobs don't, make me who I am. I'm not gonna be objectified or being, how the identification sexually by my boobs. Like, you a boss. Like, you know what? These titties don't make or break me. And I'm talking about, I done seen them take the topless, photo shoots. Oh my man, I'm talking about amazing, absolutely amazing. Anybody that knows someone or you have one, drop some of them photos, man. Look, we want to just honor you and big you up. So, we're going to switch gears just a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit. We're going to lighten the mood just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. 'Cause I like the crowd. I stay on the prowl. And I love getting in your business.
My business?
Yes, honey. So you still... yes.
Look at here now. You can't do
How this online dating thing coming?
shit.
How is the online? You can take a sip if you need.
Yeah, I
How is the online dating? Ooh, girl.
Get it, mama.
do. Yes, indeed. She definitely always put me on the spot.
Ain't nothing wrong with
No, it ain't nothing wrong with it. In my opinion, don't that get old but close. When I look in the mirror, ain't nothing wrong with my eyesight, okay?
Yeah,
So if it
see
ain't
where I
nothing
get
wrong
the
with
love
my
sparkle
eyesight,
from,
it ain't
right?
nothing wrong with yours either. Okay? So, as far as the online dating, I mean, I still dip and dab here and there.
Dipping dab.
Do
Now
it.
what
Yeah.
is dipping and dabbing in
Well,
2022?
Well, if I see somebody I like, I push the smile button, and see if I'm going to get a response back. Matter of fact, I just did that the other night. I was laying in the bed and I was kind of sipping through, and I'm kind of conscious about the age range. You know what I mean?
What you be looking for now?
What's the age?
Yes, girl.
What's the
Yes, what is it?
Wait, look, I can't say too much. This is live. But it's a few criteria I be looking for. You have to have a good back. Okay, because I'm aware now.
What? I already know I need to be excluded from this conversation. Back, strong, bad.
Yeah, you have to have a strong heart. I don't want you to have no heart diseases or anything like that.
No,
And you can't be a diabetic. I mean, let me back it up a little bit. I don't have anything against men with diabetes,
But there's a but.
there is a but. Okay.
There's definitely a but. What is the but though?
It got to be controlled.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Because, like one time I was talking to the gentleman, he went on telling me, I done had my toe amputated. I said, oh, shit.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work.
That ain't the one. The other one, when they found out that I was a nurse, they said, you a nurse? I said, yeah. He said, well, I'm going to get ready to go have my COVID shot. I said, you are? I said, well, where you going to have it at? He said, well, I have dialysis. I said, nope. Out.
Okay, so
But this is the thing.
Well, wait a minute. What is it? You just get to the meat and potatoes. You talking strong backs, no amputated toes. You sounding like
Kidney
you trying.
function on blast.
Right. We trying to make. So what's the
But this is the thing. If I get into a relationship with someone, okay.
How long you wait before you have sex?
Well, I do have my 90-day rule.
Okay.
I do have, we talked about that before. Me personally, and it's not just because, what's that movie was that,
Yeah, that's loud. The cookie.
whatever it is, this movie that,
What was that?
Steve Harvey and them had put out about the 90
Think
day
like a man.
Think like a man.
Mhm.
This
Act
ain't got
like
nothing
a-
about
act
me
like a
thinking
lady.
about. This ain't got nothing to do with me thinking like a man, okay? Because I know what your aim is before we even get started.
That's right.
All right.
That's the target.
Yeah. Okay. And I know where the target is at. All right. So. I mean, I'm being straightforward and honest with you, but
You about to be on next button. You getting ready to be on the next book.
Well, you're the one who asked me this question. You should have never asked me if you don't want to know.
I got
the
one
answer.
more question that go along with this, and this is for all the ladies. Have you ever faked the orgasm?
Oh yeah, I did.
I think we all have.
Yeah, I ain't ashamed. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
You know, I let him think that he was
She's
just
never-
really
she's
getting it.
never-
You know what I mean? I was like, baby, this is the thing. I was so goddamn mad when it was all Excuse me.
Yeah, you're fine. I love it.
I was so upset because, you know, I'm ready. I'm pumped up. And
You ready? You pumped?
yeah, I'm good to go. You know, I took my bath and put on all my Victoria's Secret and shit. Got my little skinny bitty little lingerie on and paid good money for it too, you know. So I knew things was getting ready to go down. All right,
Go down.
girl, shit. He talking about,
He did a
ooh,
wait
baby.
till move.
I'm like,
He did a wait until his tail move, huh?
girl, look, shit. It was the biggest disappointment of my life.
Oh,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah, I was disappointed. I ain't gonna lie. I was so mad. I wanted to punch his ass. Okay.
Well, I'm glad you didn't actually punch.
No, I didn't.
Why didn't you tell him you wasn't satisfied?
Ooh, sometimes, baby, you gotta teach a man to show you, to let him know what you want. Okay, just because they're a man don't mean they know how to get it in. Let me just be absolutely upfront and honest with you. Sometimes you have to teach a man slowly, okay, to let them know what they need to do to satisfy you. Because in the meantime, when you teaching them how to satisfy you, you definitely gonna satisfy them because you want them to do what they need to do best.
Do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Candy, you ever fake one?
Mm-mm.
You ain't never fake one?
No, because I'm like, hold on, because I had to get one.
Yeah, honey.
No
This way.
Period.
Pause. Stop.
Period.
Wait.
Right.
Period.
Let me do the work.
Yeah. You know, sometimes I did. I had to do the work. I was like, shit. Now, wait a minute. Now, wait. Hold up. Pump your brakes, buddy. Okay, we're going to start this over. This is not a Viagra moment. All right?
Oh. So now it's going too far.
Well, no, not really, because we had to figure out which one of those I like the best. Whether it was Viagra or Cialis.
Oh, wait a minute.
Right. Listen. She
Do
carried.
it.
It's always a scandal in the she shack. It's
Do it.
always. She say do it. It's always.
Well, I mean, he
Yeah.
told me which one I liked the most. So he was the one taking the pill. I didn't even know he was taking the goddamn pill until he told me.
Well, at least they have a pump, so that's great.
Yeah, they do, but we
Oh,
don't. We
they
ain't
pump.
pumping it.
Pump.
Yeah, we not pumping it up. Okay.
Yeah, see, that's different.
Yeah. Now, because see, when you pump
You gotta pump it.
Yeah,
Like,
see,
You
you
the-
got the peanut pump. You got
yeah,
that?
they got the pump.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
pump
but,
it to make it dark.
yeah, and then it don't go down until you de-escalate it. You can ride all night if you want to. Shit. But,
Well,
See,
that's my-
yeah, y'all go ahead on this.
That's
sip.
called sweet bitch.
This is good.
Yeah,
But
that's
anyway.
called sweet bitch. Sweet
Yeah.
bitch is that word.
Yeah, you know, so, I mean, it is
I
what it is.
Have you faked them orgasm?
I
Mr.
did once in life, you know.
Shea? You faked it.
Yeah, and that's when I know no better, and you know he didn't know any better.
So you was just little. Y'all was just younger, just
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
starting out. You wasn't really. So was it because you didn't know what an orgasm was?
No, I did, but I just don't think he was big enough to even. So it was like
Oh,
one of
no.
those.
Yeah, honey, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Listen.
We have to have one big enough to fit the canal, okay?
Yeah, this is one
Yeah,
of those.
they need to be able to get the groove in the
Yeah, you know, you got to find it, you know?
It's one of those when you get done, you tap on the back like,
Yeah.
It's all
I
kinds of-
love it. So, have any of y'all heard in entertainment news about Rich Boy beating up? You might not know who Rich Boy is. You know who Rich Boy is?
No.
You know who Rich Boy is?
No, I haven't heard of him.
So who he beat up? Because I might know. I might have heard.
His parents.
He beat up why?
Does it matter why?
No, it doesn't really matter why. I mean, you know, because
So he has to be an entertainer.
yeah,
He's a
got-
rapper.
Oh, well, shit.
You
That's
all
it.
right. You all right.
Well, I mean, you know
he
what?
was-
He must have had a death wish. That's all I have to say about Rich Boy. because that's the same, because that
You
takes
know
me
these
back.
boys,
It
yeah.
kind of takes me back to that Marvin Gaye and the daddy situation. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
bring us up to speed, old school.
Yeah, it's old school thing. Maybe y'all don't know who Marvin Gaye is.
Oh no, we
We
do.
know.
If you don't know who Marvin Gaye
We
is,
know.
don't make me tell Alexa to turn on some Marvin Gaye in here.
Well, it kind of brings me back to that kind of situation because his father killed him.
Right,
Because they had an altercation. Now, I
Right.
can't say what the altercation was, but it ended up with Marvin Gaye being dead. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So, in a situation like this here, I have to go back to my biblical roots. It says honor thy mother and thy father. You know what I mean? So
even
what?
the deadbeat mama and daddy.
on me because I'm not gonna touch you. Okay.
Even the deadbeat mama and daddy.
I don't give a shit who they are. You know what? I'm just speaking for me. Don't put your goddamn hands on me. All right? I ain't gonna put my hands on you. Now we may have a
I
disagreement.
be the both of them at the same time.
I don't
That's
know.
what they say.
I don't
Listen,
know.
I don't really know how it went down, but it's video. It's got caught. Listen, caught on candy camera.
Well,
Like,
know
you
what?
done
They need to
carried
lock
on a
his
really
ass
whole
up.
skit.
That's all I got to say about that. They need to lock his ass up.
How old is his parents?
They got to be older. They got to be elderly. I mean, I don't know.
He can't be that old.
Well, they may be in their. I don't care if they.
They say he was wilding. It's that's speculation, allegedly.
They might have been on
Speculation,
I don't know what the
psychedelics
situ-
could have been
I
involved
don't
and
know.
things like
Yeah,
that.
but he had to be high and stuff on drugs. That's probably what he's gonna say next. I was speedballing out my goddamn mind. I don't give a shit how. Yeah, because if you put your hands on me, you better make sure you have everything straight with Jesus. Okay.
So you gonna need a lawyer.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I used to work in the jail, and I know what it's all about. Okay. All right. And then
She said you're gonna need a lawyer. Period.
Yeah, I'm gonna need one
Yeah,
because I'm gonna try to
yeah.
send you straight on to Jesus because they're gonna have me if not for murder, attempted murder. Okay. So therefore, my situation is like this here, and I do understand that everybody's not gonna have an agreement. And I know everything I do, my family is not gonna like me sometimes. You understand?
It's okay.
It is okay. Because you're gonna get over it, and so will I. Okay. But the thing of it is, when I get to a point where, where I have to, where I'm hurt or disappointed or whatever, I kind of draw within myself and I kind of go off into my own little corner and I lick my wounds, all right? And sometimes I have to reach out to my son or my daughter or whoever. Right now I'm reaching out to my daughter mainly, for support. And sometimes she gives me wisdom in situations like that. But I don't think that it ever should get to a point where you feel that you need to put your hand on anybody, all right? Particularly when you're dealing with another adult. Somebody have to be the bigger person and know to walk away. And walking away sometimes is not the most easiest thing to do. And it's not going to make you less of a man or less of a woman. It's just let you know that you de-escalated a situation before it got out of hand, okay? And everything in today's society, as you know, is on the news every single day that they are shooting at one another, and because that is the way that they resolve their disagreement.
All right.
I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into that. I swear I'm not gonna get into it. But my whole thing is this, okay? Your mama could be a crack addict. Your mama could be a prostitute on the corner. But that is the same mama that shitted your ass out.
Well,
Excuse me.
I understand that you feel very strongly, and I do too. I do not believe that you should be disrespectful to your parents. However, there's a line.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. Hear me out.
Okay.
Because sometimes, just because you birthed me, doesn't mean that you mothered me. Because there's a difference between birthing someone and nurturing and mothering someone. So at the end of the day, you ain't getting all this extra respect because you birthed me. Now, I'm going to be respectful and honorable because that's the way I was taught from the person that mothered me. And there is a difference, in my opinion. Just because you gave birth to me, that don't make
Well,
you...
you know, I always say every woman that has a baby don't make them a mother. And every father that helped shoot out a kid.
It doesn't make them a mom. So it's just a total different because you're a mother. Yes, you had a baby, but you just didn't have that mommy in you, that instinct. You didn't have that connection depending on what you went through. Period. The whole pregnancy is different things that connect you, but you still a mother because you birthed these kids, but you just wasn't a mom because you didn't have that nurturing.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I'll take that. I'll absolutely take that.
Absolutely. And the same thing goes with the father. Just because you participated in the process of getting that child here into the world, it doesn't necessarily make you a dad. You are a father, but you're not a dad.
We not gonna really unpack that. We not gonna really unpack that. We
never getting back to my
you know I'm a chick with daddy issues, so you know we.
But
getting back, unpack it.
Getting back to my online dating. Okay.
No. I got a question.
Oh, you got?
Oh no, I'm loaded. I'm loaded. I'm ready to go.
Look at here, y'all.
Y'all heard about Tia Mowry and her husband getting a divorce?
Yeah, I heard about
After 14 years of marriage, and then he came out and said, "Well, I just want the world to know I ain't cheating on them." So, like, for all the people that's married people, like, okay, just because you didn't cheat, that doesn't mean that ain't, like, there's so many reasons why people end up in divorce court. But after 14 years of marriage, like, that's 14 years. That's like,
you can't get it back.
Listen, not only that, I feel like sometimes people get so lost up because thinking people are Hollywood. They got little kids involved, babies. They got some babies involved in this situation. And I just think that they being a little insensitive. Like, they putting out, they went and digging up these people's business. I understand, like, you Hollywood or whatever, but they went and looking for their court documents to see who filed first, why they filed. And my whole thing is this: why does it matter to you that much? At least be respectful, not only to the, like, you think people are so Hollywood that they don't have personal lives, right? And they have children involved. And I remember when my parents divorced, I was an adult, married with kids. And it was hard for me as an adult. You understand? Like, I was completely devastated. So I'm pretty sure now I can have a different point of view with that whole thing with, how hard divorce is. So I'm going to ask y'all a question. Someone said to me once, a long time ago, the greatest gift that you can give to someone is the gift of family. So say you in a relationship, like they had irreconcilable differences. Do you believe that that's a time for you to really get divorced because y'all can't get along?
No.
That's a Rashida question. Because that's a Rashida question.
No, you can't. It's just that people sometimes get complacent in a marriage and you get used to routine. Lack of communication. If you believe in God and you believe in the word, depending on what your religion and stuff is, that is not a reason to get a divorce. I'm sorry to reach over. All right. So that's not a reason to divorce, because some things can be worked out and people can find their way back to each other by removing certain things that's happening to each other.
Yeah.
Kenda, what do you think?
Date yourself.
Kenda. Anybody over there, Kenda? What do you think? What do you think?
What do I think?
What do you think? You think people, that two people can't get along and they marry at 14 years old? You married 14 years. They ain't including the dating years.
Yeah.
Is that enough now to be divorced?
No, not after 14 years.
Yeah, because 14 years, you vested.
But what if you're not happy?
Well, this is where the communication comes in.
And that's why I believe for them, it was more so someone was faking and someone was sweeping all their issues underneath the rug and not bringing them to the forefront, and the other person wasn't aware of. So if someone's not aware of something, they can't fix those problems.
That's true.
And we don't talk to each other to let each other know what we really feel and respect each other. Boundaries is what this person think this person might think is okay and what they want, and the other person go along with it, because I don't want to hurt your feelings or make you feel less than, but it's okay to say, babe, this is what I do like, let me show you. It's a way to talk to someone and let them know. But if you faking it for 14 years, you harden your heart, you put up a wall, and you don't let that person in.
Absolutely.
So you shut them out.
Absolutely.
So irreconcilable difference is not a thing.
That's true. And my
She
whole
said
thing
that
is
is not a thing.
My thing is, it's just like a volcano that's brewing up. Okay, and if you don't let me know, it could be something minor, something very simple as me leaving the toothpaste cap open or something. You know what I mean? And it's just constantly building up, and it's just constantly building and just constantly building, and all of a sudden it explodes. All right, but to me, I'm not a mind reader. You understand?
Can't you just not be in love with a person anymore? Could you
Well,
not just be, or was it ever really love then? Like, where can you be in love with a person and then now you not in love with her? No, she shackers. I want to know what y'all think. Hey, can you be with somebody for, like, is it love? Are you smitten?
Lust.
What is it?
Well, I mean,
What? Because some people say I'm just not in love with them
I
anymore.
don't say that you fall out of love, because I always say this. People get divorced, and we have these relationships. And think back, okay, you was with this person in high school, right? And y'all was in this relationship, but now you're grown, 10 years done passed, and that person passed away. Are you gonna feel sad? Are you gonna cry? Are you gonna remember that time that you had with that person?
Yeah.
Right, because you love that person at that time. Just because you are not together doesn't mean that your love for that person changed. No, you may not want to be with them, but you still love them.
Right.
So if I'm married to you for 14 years, our relationship, we had to grow. So we either grew together
Or we
grow
apart.
apart. But the only way we grow apart is that one person stepped ahead of the other one and didn't bring that person with them.
Right.
And they chose to pursue things differently on their own and leave the other person in the dark.
Right.
So
right.
it always all boils back to communication.
Right.
And what walls that we build up. Like you said, the smaller the toothpaste cap. If I never told my husband that was bothering me, or went to him or tried, so it's another thing too. If I'm talking down to him, like demeaning him.
Right.
Why don't you act like a kid? Why can't you put the top on this and that? Different things like that, it builds up.
Right. Absolutely.
And that makes people go apart. That don't mean I stop loving you, because if he walked out that door today and got hit by a car and died, I'm gonna cry because I love that man.
Right.
So
right,
time
right.
don't change that.
Right.
It's just that it's easier to find something new and walk away, because I don't want to deal with, because I don't know how to deal with, I don't know how to speak to that person. So it seems easier, but you're going to go right into the next relationship loving somebody else and with the same mindset. So no, you don't really fall out of love, because God loved us and he didn't fall out of love with us. So we still love no matter what.
Right.
It's just what we're willing to do to change ourselves, to sacrifice for that man or that woman that we decided to marry. And you said it best earlier, God put that together.
Right.
We didn't. Not unless you was faking the marriage from the beginning.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. That's,
And sometimes, unfortunately, there is situations where people get in and get married for their own hidden personal agendas.
Yeah, that's
and they
true.
leave back a damaged individual, a broken man or a broken woman or a damaged, and then you find that person and maybe they find somebody else, but they have never become complete. They still broken. But the representative of who you will meet gives you the impression that they are not. So now you that's the whole taking it back. Did you fake it? Orgasm? Sure, you faked it. So if you can fake an orgasm, can you fake that I love you? Can you fake being in a marriage? Is it real or is it fake?
I don't think you can fake being in a marriage, because That's more or less a commitment.
And the more time you
It
spend
can
with
be
somebody,
something.
and
One
get to
person
know
can be
somebody,
committed,
and-
and another person can be in it for their own personal agenda. You
but the
faking it.
more time that you spend with the person intimately, not just having sex and laying down, but the
Come on,
intimate
clear
part
it up because
Mhm.
sex and intimacy.
is different.
Yes, ma'am.
The
Yes,
more time
yes.
that you spend with a person, you learn that person.
That's right.
And you fall in love with the person.
That's
And
right.
that relationship. So the bond is what keep us together. That's what
Mhm.
holds us.
Mhm.
Not
Mhm.
everything else. You know, that's why people say I'm gonna fight for this, I'm gonna fight and I'm willing to take this because a lot of the main thing, oh I'll never do this. No, don't say what you'll never do because if you love someone,
You would
You
go,
would
go
do.
beyond.
That's right.
You would go far and
that's
beyond.
right.
So
And a lot of
this
people
conversation
do.
actually is going to bring us right into the final topic for tonight, and it's domestic violence. And the reason why I want to talk about domestic violence because there's a lot of people, especially in different faiths and religion, that you do not leave a relationship. Listen here, she-shackers. I'm not God, and I can't tell you what to do. But what I will say is this. If you in a relationship where somebody is physically, emotionally, verbally abusing you, that is not okay. Okay? Physically, verbally, and see, because sometimes people, a lot of people don't believe in emotional abuse. They don't think that that's a thing, but it really is. You can be emotionally abusive. You can just be so slanderous with your words and so harsh with your treatment of a person that you actually suppress and they can fall into a depression. You are emotionally abusing them. Sometimes you see behaviors like that in people that has recreational drug abuse. Not like I smoke weed from time to time. No, that ain't it. That ain't it. That not, when I go out, I get me a drink or two. Nah. That's not what I'm talking about. But what I'm talking about is somebody that cracking by 24 bills and they drinking 24 bills. That's a problem. Somebody, we don't need to talk about the heroin use because that's already an issue. Or smoking crack, that kind of stuff. We know those types of things. But, he just snort coke from time to time. No, baby, that's a problem. What's the problem?
That's a functioning
That's
addict.
a problem. That's a problem. And if you see signs of a problem, do not enable a behavior and then point the finger because they doing something to you. You seen it, okay? You seen it. Girl, get your bags or a bag or no bag or hey bro, because don't get it twisted. Women can be abusive to men too. Some people and they make men feel like they can't talk about it because how you gonna be around and let a woman beat up on you? Well, if you a man, you a family man and you trying to make this thing work and you was brought up and taught not to put your hands on a woman and this woman got anger issues and when she gets upset, poop, and then she I didn't be there. No, that's not okay. It's not okay, never, ever, ever okay to be in somebody's personal space to harm them, to try to control them. And there's the signs and symptoms of being controlling before you move in.
And you know what the other thing is
and
that
all
really
of
burns
that.
my biscuits. Now this really burns my biscuits.
Ooh, not the biscuit.
Yeah, it really does. When a woman said, it was my fault that he blackened my eye.
But they believe it's their fault though. They honestly believe that because
Yes,
of
they
self-esteem. When somebody playing your self-esteem that much, like she said, that mental and that emotional
Yes, they really
abuse,
believe that.
People don't love their self enough to realize that they're in the mental. So they really believe that they caused that action because if I just
deserved it, right?
I just would have did that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But they don't understand the person that's abusing them, they are abused as well.
Right.
And that's their cope. So they're coping. They don't want you to see their weakness, so they use you to cover what they have going on. But you have to tell people, you have to find yourself and love yourself enough to say it's enough, that I am this, I'm deserving of that. That's, you have to get your strength and your willpower. Just went to Mary J concert. Good Morning Gorgeous is the perfect song.
Really?
Yeah. Good morning, gorgeous. Everybody should listen to that because it tells you before putting on your makeup, everything she wanted to be somebody else, how she looked, how she felt about her own self. So many people are going through that because of what we see, but the self-esteem is really low.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, I believe that you have to build your self-esteem for yourself. You have to love you have to love yourself. Okay, you really do have to love yourself.
That's so easily said. Sometimes
It's
people
not.
don't
It's
know
easily
how
said,
to love,
but
some
me,
people don't know honestly. And I'm gonna say this because y'all know that I'm always transparent in this she shack. And one thing I can say, I didn't always know how to love me.
and I was getting ready to say the same thing.
I didn't know.
Because I was in therapy and my kids didn't even know I was going to therapy. Okay, because to me, in my generation, we didn't go to therapy. You know what I mean?
Let me just take a quick pause, and I just want to just inject. If you or someone you know are being affected by domestic violence, there is help for you. You can call the 1-800 number. It's 1-800-799-SAFE. You also, if you cannot get to a personal phone and you have a text message, you can text off a tablet, or if your phone is off and you can only get Wi-Fi, you can actually text to 88788. That also brings you to the domestic violence hotline. Help is on the other side of that line. You can, if you can't talk, they also have an option for you to chat silently. Help is available for you. The phone number again, 1-800-799-SAFE. 1-800-799-7233. That is the 24 hours a day, 7 days a week domestic violence hotline. There is help available to you.
Yeah, it is. But like I was saying before, in my generation, the older generation, it was a stigma. Okay, if you had to go to therapy or you felt that you had mental health, all right, they kind of brushed it off, But with me, it was all internal. I was questioning who I was, or am I a good person, or am I worth the living? Am I beneficial to anybody? It was like I was this small, So it had gotten to the point that, and I understand why people contemplate suicide, okay? But before I allowed it to get to that level, because I was a nurse, and I knew there was help out there, but the problem with it, a lot of it, people hide stuff. Just because they have a smile on their face, you don't know what's going on the inside of them. All right, because I used to smile all the time. All right, but I was crying on the
people
inside.
Are ashamed, and they think that people are judging them.
Right. So, but once I got into therapy, because I'm telling you, I was in therapy. Nobody knew I was in therapy. I'll be right back. Yeah, I'll be right back. And I would go to my therapy lessons, and my therapy treatments. And through that, don't be ashamed and don't feel that it's a stigma to go to therapy.
I also want to say this.
You may need
I want
that.
to say this about loving yourself. Okay. Because some people be in different places in their lives and they're not ready. And again, I am very transparent. I'm on a different path, on a different journey in my life, and I'm not ashamed of anything that I had to endure or the things that I've done. But I want to tell y'all this. I was sexually violated as a young person, and it made me an angry person, but it also made me a hypersexual person. And I didn't understand hypersexuality at all. It didn't have a label. It didn't have a name. I grew up in a time where you didn't talk about what went on in your house. What happened in your house stayed in your house. You was taught that as a child. You didn't tell anybody. So when you grow, that child that deal with sexual trauma also becomes an adult that is still dealing with sexual trauma. Individual therapy is not the only therapy that's available.
No.
Okay, so I want to just say this because at the time, for me, I wasn't in a place, I wasn't ready. And why I say I wasn't ready, because I had been taught that you have to be strong. You have to be, steadfast. You have to be vigilant and smart. And then that's how you overcome these things. You don't necessarily overcome them by going and telling people your business. So what I'm telling you is this. Sometimes, you can have what's called life coaching. Sometimes you can find group therapy and circle therapy, and those things can help you deal with that. But the best therapy, where I found my joy, my best therapist was when I gave it all to God. When I decided that, God, I don't want to carry this no more. I don't want to carry the burden no more, because I didn't have to worry about telling my business to nobody, because he ain't going to tell it, number one. And number two, he already knew it. So what I want to tell you is this. There's always help with your church, with your pastor, with your religion, whomever that spiritual, that person that you trust more than anything. You can find one-on-one. It's nothing more refreshing. Nothing more refreshing than telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Now you ain't got to lie.
Yeah.
You ain't got to hide behind nothing. You can be truly who you are. And that's what I want y'all to know. That's the message tonight. You can live free. Be who you are. Yeah. You don't have to hide behind a mask. You don't have to let somebody be the representative that show up in the room before you. Because I don't know about y'all, but I had me one of them. I had a representative. I had one. But I don't have one. I don't have one no more.
Right.
When I show up, it's really just Yvette.
Right.
It's just me. A girl that used to live in a trailer in Kentwood, Louisiana, that lived in the Magnolia Projects in New Orleans, Louisiana, by way of the Callio Projects in New Orleans, Louisiana, by the lower Ninth Ward, then moved up like the Jeffersons to the New Orleans East, and now I'm living in the big house. So guess what? Anything is possible. Live you free. Walk freely. Be who you are. And if people don't like who you are, that ain't the circle you're supposed to be dwelling in. When somebody is attracted to that energy, that thing that you got, that little swag, all of that thing. Because everywhere I go, I take mine with me. My jazz walk in the room with me. My light shine for me. So that's what I want y'all to know tonight. Don't be afraid. Don't nobody dim you. If they try to control you, they see how powerful you are. That ain't who you supposed to be.
That's true.
If it's somebody that's trying to tell you or not pouring into you and not trying to encourage you and build up that business that you trying to go for, move on. That ain't the man, that ain't the woman. If it's somebody that don't know how to speak to you like a lady or speak to you like the man that you are, and they don't respect you, you might want to reevaluate that situation. Right. You set boundaries for yourself. If you don't want to be cussed at, don't cuss. If you don't want nobody to treat you, yell and scream at you, don't treat them like that, because we attract what we are. So that is the message from the She Shack, man. I love y'all. I thank y'all so much for supporting me, for supporting the She Shack, for bringing some love, man. So I'm talking about my girls came in. I asked Rashida, I'm like, yo, when you coming to the She Shack? Let me tell you how she gonna pull my card. You ain't invite me. I said, well, you invited. She said, well, what time? 7. I'll be there. Look, showed up, came in, brought some love, and gave some encouragement and gave some inspirational words. My girl Kenda, man, let me tell you something. I'll share. My girl Kenda, let me tell you something. Kenda, I'm going to tell you this story about Kenda, right? Kenda didn't even know I was really on this journey. She ain't know nothing about my She Shack, and I'm trying to learn. I'm in a whole different, I'm like a fish out of water, because you know me, I'm used to being in control. I'm used to being able to handle my own thing and do my own schedule. Now I walk into a job, they got a time clock, they got cameras, they giving you points when you ain't showing up. You listen, they got a 6:30 in the morning schedule. You know that 6:30 is disrespectful. So I'm like, oh God, how many times I quit that week? 3 times in a week I quit that job.
Yeah, she called me talking about Mama Christmas.
I ain't gonna do this.
I'm like,
this ain't gonna
you
work.
better hang in there.
This ain't gonna work. But I ran into one of the sweetest persons that her love invited me in, and that was Miss Kenda. And she sat me down. She said, I don't even really know if I was supposed to be training you. but let me show you something. So that's what she said. And we started to develop a relationship and we started talking. But when two believers come together, I didn't know she was and she didn't know I was. And one day I'm just sitting there, we got a little downtime, and I talked to you that day. And I was reading the Bible and I was going through 1st and 2nd Timothy. I thank God for allowing me to be the person that I am, because if I would have told my mama a couple of years ago I would have been reading the Bible, she probably would say, girl, close that thing up before God comes and strike you down. You can't understand it. But I'm not there, you know what I mean? And her and I started to bond and brought some information. And I just want to say to you, Kenda, I just want to say something to you. I appreciate your love inviting me in. I appreciate that. You're such a unique individual because her spirit is so strong. But the spirit of a strong person is also a person that's been through some stuff. And I want to just say something to you. It's okay to be soft.
I'm gonna drink to that.
Me too.
Thank y'all for tuning in to another
It's
night.
8 o'clock.
And I don't know, wait, I don't even know. Is it is? Because I'm getting ready to cut it off. Y'all, it's 8:24. We went 24 minutes over the time. We having such a good time in the She Shack, but you know what? It was a special series. I was only going to do an hour, but time just got away from us, because when you having a good time,
Yes.
and when you're talking about all this good stuff, and don't we look pretty in our pink?
Girl.
Pictures is coming, girl. Listen. I
I
can't
had
wait
to bring a little sparkle with my.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. Listen, if you haven't had a chance to check us out on YouTube, Conversations with Me, a Queen on YouTube, guess what? We are live on YouTube. We've been consistent enough that Facebook now tells us they broaden our audience. Now we can catch more people and more people can see us. We are on Twitter. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. We have a private group called Conversations with the Queen where we sit down and we encourage each other. We post things every day. And today is Thankful Tuesday. Tomorrow is Joyful Journey Wednesday. Then it's Stay Motivated Thursday. And guess what? You got this on Friday. You are amazing. You can do any single thing you want to do. Thank y'all for the love.
Yeah, and then you know this Hennessy Black is all right with me.
Is it all right? Is it all right? I don't know if you noticed, but it's 1, 2, 3 empty glasses, 4 empty glasses with the girl.
Mine's have been refilled a couple times.
Y'all, thank y'all so much. I mean, I can't even tell you enough how much this mean to me. Trench is upstairs hooking us up with some salmon, shrimp, cheesesteak, some French bread. We about to bust it down. It's some New Orleans style.
You need to come back. Y'all really do need to come back.
Yes. This has been. Hold up.
What?
Shawnee, I didn't forget. Happy birthday to you. I love you. Shawnee's birthday is tomorrow.
You know who else's birthday today? Chris.
I already know. I done called him. I done sang. I done gave him birthday money. He done came and saw me. I'm good with him. Ooh, you ain't called your teddy bear and told him happy birthday. Shame on you.
Let me call my grandson. That's my baby. I get upset when people talk about him and stuff like that. And he told me when he came up to the house, you know, baby, my birthday is Tuesday. I'm like, oh yeah, sweetheart. I'm going to call them.
Happy birthday, Chris.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Hey,
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Chris.
I know I'm
Happy
ready.
birthday, Shawnee. And if you
Hello.
had a chance to check out Funny
Did you
Acting
see-
Black Girls, make sure
Did you
y'all
see us
check
singing
that out.
happy birthday to you on the She Shack, baby?
He's on a date.
I'm out to dinner. I didn't see.
Oh, you out to dinner? But that's okay. Well, I just want you to know that your baby loves you, and I didn't forget. I was just talking. I was like, you know.
Ooh, remember he gonna
I
make
forgot.
us see this on the She Shack.
Happy birthday.
We still alive.
Yeah, I know we still alive. That's quite all right. Y'all know this is my little sweet teddy bear. And I love you dearly, and I just want you to have a good time on your date, and you know, baby, love you.
She clutching her pearls and everything, and he got nothing on.
All right, sweetheart, enjoy yourself. And whoever, tell Teresa I said hello. I know that's who you with. Tell her I said hello, and I love her too. All right. All right. Love you more. Bye-bye. All right.
It's a good thing he ain't a hopping around kind of boy because he's like, oh, tell Teresa. Now, what if he wasn't with Teresa?
Well, goddamn it, he just
Oh,
you know
man.
what? Y'all need to leave me alone because you know I'm going to be saying stuff. Because he always tell me, Mama, you don't never have no filter. You just don't have no filter. Well, why I don't have no filter? You know why? Because they always be putting me on the spot.
Mm. Is
That's
that
why
what it is?
Yeah, you know I'm going to speak the truth.
No, hold.
You know I'm going to say
Hold
what
up.
I'm going to say.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me put 2 pumps and a pimping in it. No, ma'am.
No,
because
ma'am.
You've never had a filter.
I ain't never had no filter.
Never. You have
I
not
guess
possessed
not,
one.
because when I was working full time, I always got in trouble. They always called me in the fucking administrator's office. But you can't get me because I be telling the truth. All
It
right?
ain't the fact that you be
But and
telling
then
the
the
truth
other
is
thing,
like,
I can always repeat what I say because this is the thing that is about me. If I call myself a woman, and if I said it, goddamn it, I don't have a problem repeating it. Hello. So yeah, I don't have a
I love her, honey. And when your birthday?
listen,
February the 4th. I'm an
that's an Aquarius. Can't you tell?
You know, and then
She's
it's,
talking about,
and see, at my age,
Hey.
you know, they really love me when I usually say this because when I'm coming down the hallway, they say, "Oh, here come Miss Charlene. Here come Miss Charlene." All right. So if they get to messing with me, I'll tell them in a minute. You know what? It's the only thing you can tell me is to go home. So let me tell you how I feel. I really don't give a fuck. Right?
listen, let me tell y'all how serious it was. We used to work at the same place.
I did.
She worked days, I worked nights. Oh, listen, you know that's Miss Charlene's daughter. That's all. Listen, don't talk to her. That's this Miss Charlene's daughter.
Yeah, they did. See, at first, I told her, I said, look, don't tell nobody you my daughter. Yeah. I said, don't tell nobody you my daughter.
I thought she was embarrassed about it. Like, so let me. I really thought she was
because I used
embarrassed.
to always get in trouble. So
That falls on her.
yeah, I didn't want her to be involved. All right. So you know, because I didn't have a reputation, but then again, I did. All right, because see, I was an advocate for my patients. You step on my patient toes, you stepped on my toes. You understand? And I don't care what kind of meeting you in, I will bust the door right on down and come right on in there, and I'm going to tell you exactly how.
But you
I
will tell people violence is not the answer.
feel. Well, yeah, that's true. You know. No, that's true. But see, my first husband taught me this, and this is one thing that I could give him credit for.
It is
He
a
said,
mess
"Charlene,
in this
you
she
need to
shack."
learn how to cuss people out.
Yes, honey, please turn this she shack out.
Okay.
'Cause she can
In
just
other
talk
words,
down
you can
down.
cuss a person out.
Yes,
They don't know they've been
it's that
cussed out until you
black.
walk
I'm telling
away.
you, she's
You
starting
understand?
to scared them.
So that's what
It's
I learned
the
how
black.
to do.
Thank
I
y'all
learned how to
so
cuss them
much.
out.
Conversation
And I didn't
with
use
me
a cuss
and
word.
Queen
I didn't use
here
raise
in
my
the
voice.
She Shack.
I wasn't
Every
ugly
Tuesday
about
night at
anything,
7
okay?
o'clock.
But
You
I
can
told
find
you
us
how
on
I felt.
YouTube. You can find
And
us
they would
on
come back to me,
Facebook.
you know, you
can
rolled me
find
under
us
the
on
bus. I said, well,
Instagram.
goddamn,
Like
the wheels
it,
go round and
share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe.
But
Find
now,
us on YouTube.
you
It's
know,
the
I'm
black.
still
I'm
not
telling y'all.
retired,
You
know,
can blame
so-
Tremaine because I think she didn't sit here.
Oh, I'm not.
Tell
Let
them
me
it's
just say this. I'm not drunk.
Do it.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel all right.
Okay, hold on. Can I just cut the show off?
Yeah, cut it off.
Okay. Well, you have to stop talking for me to cut the show off.
Why?
Because I can't talk over you. I want the people to hear me.
Cheers.
Conversations with me, A Queen, in the She Shack every Tuesday at 7 o'clock. You can find us on YouTube, Conversations with a Queen. Like, share, subscribe. We are worldwide. Everybody across the globe can see us. So we thank y'all so much for y'all support. We'll see y'all next week. And don't forget, if you have somebody that's been affected by breast cancer or you yourself has been affected by breast cancer, drop it in the chat. Leave us a message. The She Shack at conversationswiththequeen.com is our email. We also have a website. People might not know that, but Conversations with a Queen, we have a website. You can find all the latest shows on the website. And thank you again for Kenda, for Rashida. Man, I love love this so much. They are the bomb. These are my girls. Y'all will see them again. We'll catch y'all later. Peace.